something is going to happen in the next few months in my opinion. We are going to be getting access to alternative realms. So remain open to love. A little bit close for comfort, isn't it? Welcome to another video. Like, I'm on fire at the moment. I'm throwing so much content out at you. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lucy Davis, and today some of you are going to absolutely love this. It's the full moon video. So I channeled this information a few days ago now, and oh my gosh, I've spoken about it a little bit on videos that I've been doing. These energies are super powerful. But before we go there, please do check out the description box for any insights into how to follow me on my social media, how to connect, how to book your free 15-minute breakthrough call, or just, pop a comment and I can respond to you on here. Do remember that you can buy my book from lucydavisbooks.com, and everything else is on lucydavis.com. Okay, so Soul School, this time next week, I will be in Manchester. Let's hear it for everyone in the north of England. I am so super excited. I channeled the running order on Tuesday of this week, and my goodness, is it hotting up, to say the least. I am so excited for what I'm going to be bringing to Manchester. Everything has been divinely timed, everything has been divinely placed, and this is going to be a massive activation that is going to take us to a whole new level. I cannot say to you the information that is coming through with myself and my team, we're going to a whole new level. And some of these insights we are going to be sharing at Soul School. Now, unfortunately, if you haven't got a ticket, you cannot get a ticket now because the tickets have come off sale. However, we will be doing another one at some point through 2023, probably in the summer when it's a little bit warmer and I can get you guys outdoors, because to me, that is what activating the soul is all about. So do keep your eyes peeled. Anyway, enough about that and enough about me. It's time to step into this beautiful full moon energy. Okay, so this full moon is very much about leadership. It's very much about things getting hot under the collar in regards to leadership. So maybe if you are somebody who is a leader and you want to be up the front, maybe you might have the little pedestal that you're stood on or you put yourself on kicked away from you right now. This will be the case with governments and things like that too, ladies and gents, which is where most people's minds go these days when we have these conversations. So things are hotting up. They are getting really spicy due to the speed in which things are happening right now. If time is flying for you, it means that you are up leveling in consciousness. Okay, this is something that I got this week. If time feels like it's going quite slowly for you, be aware it's time for you to start focusing on yourself and start doing the do. Anybody that is avoiding the inner work right now has a very painful journey coming up. I cannot say that to you enough. There is going to be a whole new round of the dark night of the soul for those people that have not been doing the work, who have not been focusing, who have not been actually acknowledging. Now, I want to acknowledge, I've said this on an Instagram live, I think I've said it on a video on here. Over Christmas time, I really let things go. I wasn't training like I normally train. I wasn't doing my rituals. I wasn't doing my journaling and things like that. And I really let things slip. And I want to be honest with you. I noticed the levels of my consciousness, the signs that I was getting really take a dip. Now I'm back 2 weeks into a regime of going to Muay Thai twice a week. I'm training in the gym every day. I'm out walking. I'm focusing on myself. I'm back doing my rituals. I'm meditating. I'm really getting in touch. And I must say that, from a personal perspective, the emotions, the feelings are just shifting at such a rate. Now we're all getting complacent, and this is the whole point. There are so many distractions out there right now, and it is designed to do that. The more of us that elevate, and I put myself in a bracket of, I show people how to do this. So if I'm being distracted, imagine how other people are being distracted. If I've got old stuff coming up, or, stuff coming up that is creating imbalances or whatever, imagine what other people are going through. So it's very, very, very important that we pull our head out of the sand and we start recognizing the levels of delusion that is taking place. Now, there is a huge, huge insight into delusion and illusion during this, but I'm going to get to that in a little while. So, like I was talking about, if you feel that things are going at warp speed right now, literally you blink and an hour's gone. It feels like 5 minutes, but an hour's gone. You know, I'm like skipping days at the moment. I'm like, there's so many different things that are taking place. But a couple of weeks ago, things felt a little bit stagnant. It wasn't that they slowed down particularly, but there was a difference in vibration. And it was almost like I was stuck between two realms rather than bouncing across all of them. Excuse me. So please do recognize where you are. Have you got distracted? Have you like taken your foot off the gas? Or maybe you're doing something, or you've stopped doing something that really makes you feel good. It's ever so important that we get aligned. We remember who it is that we are and what we are actually doing here on this planet, because this is our time. My team and I keep saying, like, there is something happening this first half of the year. There is something happening. You know, I keep feeling March, but obviously that depends on how things are shaping. But, you know, something is going to happen in the next few months, in my opinion. And it's really going to be a kick up the backside for all of us, not just the people that are what we perceive to be asleep or the ones that fell for everything, you know, during lockdown and stuff. I'm talking about everybody. We are all going to get a kick up the arse. And if we are in ego around anything, if we cannot accept our part in a journey, or if we cannot accept our, like, that blaming other people constantly is not the right thing to do, then trust me, we are in for such a big slap from the universe. Now, this carries on very nicely in the fact that the truth is going to be shown to you. The truth is going to be shown to you from now, really. So I'm filming this on the 27th of January. The full moon, I probably should have said it already and I haven't, is on the Sunday, the 5th of February. No surprise, this is when we are going to be in Soul School in Manchester. And so, you know, this is going to be a massive full moon. The energies, I've got everybody starting a very, very early morning meditation on the full moon. So it's going to amplify the energies through the venue where we are doing it and through the people so that they get the shifts that they need. Now, we are going to be shining the spotlight, i.e. the light of the full moon, so that we can see people's true colors. So if people have been behaving a little bit wonky or something like that, watch what happens over the next couple of weeks, because this is going to be their truth coming through. Okay, it might be that they've got caught up in something. It might be that like whatever, there's so many different things going on. They're distracted. They've got a family issue going on. They've got something taking place. Like, just be aware that there is going to have to be a new light shone on things. People will show you their true colors. Now, that said, I feel a massive amount of love coming through in the, you know, in the final days of January and stepping into the early days of February. As you guys know, it's my birthday on the 2nd of February. And what they're showing me is that there is going to be so much love, not just because it's my birthday. You know, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the energies are shifting because of the planetary alignment of Venus. And Venus is the planet of love, the planet of relationships. So you may find yourself, you know, revamping a relationship. You may find yourself meeting someone brand spanking new and being like, oh my God, this person is the one. So remain open to love. So as much as we're talking about things are getting hot, you know, distractions are there, people's true colors, the truth, like look and observe and watch, there is also this massive thread of love. And what you've got to remember, ladies and gents, is at our core essence, we are love, and that is it. So maybe you are going to start to see the vulnerability in somebody. Maybe you are going to see the love coming through, which perhaps has been hidden in the past. So remain open, remain consistent, remain compassionate, and remain supportive of people. You know, our job over this full moon, because it is going to be spicy, is to remain in our heart space. If someone is shouting at you, do not give them the same attention back. Don't do it. Just give people love. If people are blaming you, just look at them and know that they are showing you where they are at with themselves genuinely. Okay, that said, we do need to be compassionate. If somebody is sharing that they're heartbroken or something like that, like hold space for them. We can't be shutting each other down right now. This is such a tricky period. And as we elevate, it's going to get even more tricky. So we must be compassionate and loving towards each other. Now, I feel as if I've been saying this for the last 12 months, but I'm going to say it again. There's going to be huge revelations under the spotlight of the moon about the governments. The government, there's going to be some things coming to the surface about the governments where people feel as if they have been led astray. There is going to be some truths coming up. There is going to be some information shared that is going to have some sort of backing. What's the word? Validation. Yeah, it's got the information being shared is going to be validated by whether it's statistics or proof of something, or maybe an article or something, although we know that articles are manipulated in TV stuff as well. So just keep an eye on that. What they told me, that there was going to be something revealed about a government. Don't know if it's global government or, you know, across the world, or if it's just one particular government. I don't know. But what they were saying is that there's going to be a revelation about government that is going to shock people, and it's going to bring a level of unity in the people, and the people are probably going to get a little bit heated about it. So do keep your eyes open for that. There's also going to be revelations about people in your life. People are going to be showing you who they are. You may be disappointed that somebody is not doing the work. Remember, that's your stuff, that's your ego. It's up to them whether they want to do the work. If they don't want to do the work, you just have to hold space for them. It doesn't mean you need to cut them out of your life. It just means you need to hold space for them to do their part of the journey. It's a tough one, that one. You know, we're all a bunch of control freaks walking around. We all want everybody to be where we are. And it's very interesting. I can't remember, I've done so many live videos this week, but on one of my live videos this week, I was saying that, you know, I always assume that everybody is where I am and can see things that I see and feel things that I see. And then I'm like, wow, that's really unfair for me to think that, because it's just not the truth. Like, my mum switches off her intuition. She's massively intuitive, but she switches it off because it scares her. So how can my mum and I be at the same point? And this is what we need to be doing right now. We need to be looking with compassion, but also recognizing people are going to walk the path that they want to walk. Now, here in Spain, for not yesterday, but a few days before, we had massive electrical storms. And what they were sharing with me when I was doing the full moon information, that they were sharing lightning. And I was like, okay. And it was almost like we're going to be cracking onto things. Like, there's going to be big electrical surges. There's going to be big storms overhead. And I just felt that Spain, which is where I'm living at the moment, was demonstrating it really beautifully. It was summarizing it and showing me, look, this is what we're going to be getting. This is what's going to be happening. And it wasn't loud thunder or anything like that, but it was fork lightning over the sea, and it was really lightening up the sky. And I think that that is a really fair view of what's going to be happening here over the coming weeks. As the lightning is coming in, we are going to be getting access to alternative realms. Our gifts are coming online. In my team group this morning on WhatsApp, everyone's talking about their dreams and how weird, like, the Mandela effect is right now. Things are being shared, and people are like, well, I knew about that before, but, you know, it's only the first time it's being shared. And, you know, there's really, really weird intricacies taking place at the moment, and what I'm calling glitches in the matrix. So if you are finding that your dream state is extremely powerful, or maybe you're going into meditation and getting visions that you've never got before, or maybe you're hearing things or being drawn to places, please do know this is to increase the level of spiritual awakening on the planet. We are getting linked to alternative realms. So maybe you might start seeing interdimensional beings or something like that. Maybe you might start seeing more UFOs. I'm seeing UFOs everywhere at the moment. Like, they are absolutely everywhere. And, you know, they just want to communicate with us. Excuse me, they want to communicate with us. It's time. And if you are of the frequency whereby, you know, you're open to these things, you are going to be seeing them. You are going to be seeing a lot more, and these access. So for me, I share this on my conscious conversations, that I don't tend to look at things as past lives anymore or anything like that. I look at everything as spinning circles. I don't know why. Whenever I talk about realms, I do this movement. I've got no idea why, but that's just the way that I get shown it. And basically, we've got realms kind of passing over each other at the moment. So what we basically do is we get a little snippet of, maybe something that we're doing in 2000, because that's simultaneously going along at the same time as 2023. I know this is a bit much for people that don't listen to me normally, but this is what's happening right now. We're literally just slipping between. So we're getting old memories, we're getting old insights, we're getting healing. People are messaging me saying, why is my ex turning up in my dream? Well done, it's time to heal. Things are coming up to the surface to heal. Whatever you have got to heal has to be healed for you to step forwards. I'm on a massive healing journey at the moment, and I'm sure you are too. If you want to comment in the chat box, let me know what your healing journey is looking like, because we're not quite through it yet, ladies and gents. There's going to be a big surge for freedom under the light of this full moon. There is going to be people rising up and saying, no more, we're not going to do this. I've actually had 2 scenarios in the last week whereby I have been told I have to wear a mask here in Spain. And as you guys know, that's not in alignment with my values. So I have had to stand up and speak my truth. One of those incidents resulted in me leaving the place where I was. The other one, they just let me get on with it. So it's very important that we recognize this right now. Freedom is coming up. And with that comes this rebellion, this rebellious streak. Now, I'm a bloody rebel. I used to have a brand called the Rebel Movement, and it's no surprise. I am the original rebel. I have always just needed to break the rules, needed to push the boundaries. And this rebellion is about setting your standards. What are your standards? How are you going to show up in the world? What is what is it that you're prepared to put up with and what you're not prepared to put up with? And this is why it links so heavily and so beautifully with freedom, because how can you be free if you don't know what it is that is trapping you? How do you know who you want to be in this world if you just don't know, if you don't ask the questions? So it's time to ask yourself the questions. Do you want to be free? What are your standards? Are your standards being met? Now, that said, I'm not saying as soon as somebody steps out of line, you say, no, bog off. I'm saying, look at why you have called this to come into you, and then look at how you can protect your standards and put boundaries in place. A lot of people these days are out there saying, oh yeah, just cut the ties and do this and do that. And it's not always that simple. So just remember, the only reason and the only way you know how you can work things and what you're prepared to put up with, whether it's governments, work, partner, family, friendships, whatever you're prepared to put up with, you've got to have some standards set to be able to do that. Take a breath, Lucy. Sorry to the people whose first language isn't English. I know somebody told me on a video earlier this week that I speak too quickly, and I'm so sorry, but it's just what happens. So my apologies. I will take a breath and just allow you guys to catch up a little bit. You can always go back and watch it again. So the next item that they gave me for this full moon is around mastering yourself. Now, I spoke about this a short time ago, a little bit, but we're going to go into more detail here. Mastering your emotions is of utmost importance right now. We have to work off of the premise that people are showing us where they are at with themselves, okay? No matter who you are, that's what's happening. So if you are getting angry and you are showing anger to somebody else, that person needs to look at you like, wow, she's angry. I wonder what it is in her world that is creating anger within her. Likewise, if you have got somebody who's abusing you and, being nasty to you and calling you names, you need to look at them and be like, wow, look at where they're at with themselves. This is going to help us master ourselves. This is going to help us step forward. If we can get on top of our emotions during this extremely heavy emotional period of time, then we are going to be able to walk through the rest of this year with ease and grace. Your frequency is one of 2. Fear, and this could show up as victim, sadness, stubbornness, anger, hurt, pain, shame, guilt, frustration, a closing down, anything like that. And the other emotion is love. Now, I'm going to be really open with you. There was an occasion this week where end of last week or beginning of this week, where I actually stepped into fear for the first time in a long time, and I let it get on top of me. And very quickly that evening, I recognized it, and I had to clear it, and I had to forgive myself, and I had to be compassionate with myself, and I had to step back into the love vibration. Now, I don't look at myself as being somebody who fears anything. However, the only way of explaining what happened was fear. I don't know if it was fear of not being heard or fear of not being seen, or I don't know what the fear was, but all I know was that little Lucy came up and I had to go there. Now, it happens from time to time. And if anybody says to you it doesn't, they're a bullshitter. And some people will be like, oh yeah, like this person gets angry and this person does this. You've also got to look at yourself and just look at, okay, why am I behaving in such a way? Like, we're all so easy to judge other people. And it's very important that we recognize that this is our own stuff and that we must step into love. And to be able to do that, you've got to be compassionate and forgive yourself. There's a lot of forgiveness that needs to take place under this full moon, a hell of a lot of forgiveness. There are so many people who are so angry and so hurt and feel so shameful and guilty about situations that is low vibration, that is fear. Now, many people no doubt will jump on and be like, how can you say that about sadness? How can you say, trust me, it's a lower vibrational frequency. We have a choice. And it's not easy in a moment to pick love, but that's our jam. That's what we're here to do. Sorry, my guides want to come through. Oh, interesting. God knows what's going to come through. So spicing things back up a little bit, it is going to be so intense. Oh, it's going to be so intense. There is going to be so many emotions being shifted and moved. The time is going to make it more intense. Like I say, this lightning feeling is going to make it more intense. Then this added like surge of love coming through is going to make it feel more intense as well. Like, one minute you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Then the next minute you're going to be like, oh, I'm so in love. And like, again, I can resonate with that. Last weekend was just like this, constantly, like one moment in pure bliss, and then the next minute just like, wow, what the heck was that about? Why did I need to see that? So do be aware of, I've just looked at the clock and it's 11:11, of course. Do look and pay attention at people shutting down and closing off. Also look at yourself. Remember, this is an emotional trauma response. It is not good for your physical vessel. It will make you sick. So observe it. Just remain, like, there's nothing you can do if somebody shuts down or closes off. And I used to be the queen of doing this, so it's an interesting one for me. When you shut down or close off, it's very important that you just hold space for the person in question. Just hold space. They just need some time. They just need some love. And they probably don't want your love, and they probably don't want your time, but just allow yourself, no matter how much your mind is playing games, or, you want to be the fixer, because remember, that's what we do. We're a fixer, we're a rescuer. And this is a massive surge that's coming through on this full moon. The fixer rescuer mentality has to be stopped. It's actually strangling us. They show me like strangulation, asphyxiation, that kind of thing. So just be very aware. People are going to be going through all sorts of emotions, and they're going to be coping with it in different ways. Now, that might not resonate to you. I don't deal well with people shutting down, because I used to do it, and I've done so much work not to shut down, and run away. Like, that was my thing. I was a runner. Like, I'm very open about that. I was a runner, and I just wouldn't talk. I wouldn't communicate. And I'd just be like, no, go away, leave me alone. And then when I was ready to talk, I would talk. So it's a really interesting one that this is coming up through this full moon. Okay, so we're back with illusion and delusion. We live in one big illusion, ladies and gents. All of the pain, all of the hurts, all of the perceived stuff like that we feel, it's an illusion. It doesn't mean it's easy to divert from it. So at the moment, what is happening is we're bringing everybody's delusion to the surface. We're bringing it up. We're bringing it up for healing. And then we're magnifying the situation of the illusion that we are in. So people are getting frustrated. It's bloody frustrating, isn't it? When you can see so clearly that you are being delusional on a subject, but you just can't help yourself. You go back and revisit it. What's fascinating is I've had a number of people this week messaging me and they're like, you're triggering me. I'm not delusional. I'm not this. I'm not that. And it's just bloody hilarious right now, because this is the full moon energy. People are sensing the full moon energy really early this time. Ask yourself the question every single time. Is this my chosen reality? Is this really what I want to be living? How am I going to evolve through this illusion? What do I want my illusion to look and feel like? Am I carrying any delusion? Ask yourself the questions. Very, very, very important. Now, this is quite interesting one. The human body is evolving big time. And what they were basically showing me was that all these new strands of DNA are coming online, and that is creating havoc within the physical vessel because, and I can resonate with this, let me know in the chat if you can resonate with this too. So over the course of the last couple of years, because we've been shifting in consciousness, so basically we've been vibrating at a different rate, our physical body has had to literally change to be able to cope with that. Now, there is a lot of people out there that are like, I don't know, I've just woken up and I've put on like 5 kilos or 10 kilos. Like, where the heck has it come from? I can't say I woke up and had put on 3 kilos, but I had put on 3 kilos. I've lost a couple now, but I had put on 3 kilos on top of where I normally walk around. And for me, it's gradual. Like, I saw the little habits and stuff like that, but it didn't normally work like that. So for me, that's a really good sign to show that your human body is evolving. It doesn't want the crap anymore. It doesn't want the nasties. It doesn't want, anything like that. It wants to be clear. It wants to be pure. There's a couple of days this week where I literally ate 2 oranges and a banana. And that's all I ate. Why? Because my body, my physical vessel just didn't want to eat. So I'm going to honor that about it. Our DNA is coming online. Our chakra systems are changing. If you believe in chakra systems, I tend to call them energy centers, but like that's what I'm referring to when I talk about energy centers. It's the chakras. Like, your hair might be changing, your weight might be changing, your physical body. Like, it's so interesting. I have been training really hard in the gym the last couple of weeks, like I say, but I've got these new hips that I've never had before. It's really interesting. So my waist is starting to cut back in again. I've got one of those Adonis belts, and I am a woman. I was born a woman, and people always say if you've got an Adonis belt, then you're a man. But I've got an Adonis belt, and I'm a woman. But my waist is cutting back in again, but I've got these like hips, and it looks like I'm a cross trainer or something like that. And I'm really not. It's really, really fascinating. So I'm just watching my body evolve right now, and I'm loving her, and I'm sharing with her, and I'm treating her as best as I possibly can. We're changing. It's as simple as that. Some of you are going to go into higher levels of consciousness with this physical vessel, and some of you are going to ditch it for your light body, and that's okay. Whatever you decide to do is absolutely okay, but just recognize the body is changing, and you need to change to go with it. You need to lean into it. You need to be making sure that you can, nourish it in the best way possible. Going back to leadership very, very quickly, there's going to be a lot of questions about leadership. I feel that there's going to be something to do with the UK government. I don't know anything. I don't watch anything. So if it's already happened, then it's already happened. But I feel that it's Rishi Sunak, I believe, that's in government. I think there's going to be some questions on him around the leadership and around how he got there and around, that kind of stuff. There's just going to be questions about who's in charge. And this might be global, by the way, but I definitely feel there's a thread of UK coming through this. I do believe that the UK is about to get shaken. I believe we're going to get shaken to the core very, very quickly. toxic masculine, I'm really sad to say this, but the toxic masculine will be coming to the surface once again during this full moon. This is because we have another surge of healing. We've got another surge of awakening taking place on the planet. So what happens when we have a surge of light coming? We've got to have some dark. You know, we live in a polar world right now. So do not be surprised if you see people puffing their chests out, or, you know, pumping it up and just being a little bit toxic. Okay. It doesn't mean that you need to give it the attention. It doesn't mean that, you know, not my circus, not my monkeys. You can just say that. You know, you can choose to say, wow, thank you for showing me where you're at, and just send them some love, or just hold space, or walk away, or do whatever it is that you need to do. Okay. Like I said earlier, standards are going to be under the spotlight. So if you do not have standards, I would buckle up if I was you and get some standards put in place. Like, how do you feel about every area of your life? What is important to you? What's not important to you? How are you going to evolve? What are you going to do? Standards are absolutely critical for us to be able to move forwards. Now, like I said earlier, just because you've got a level of standards doesn't mean that it has to be cutthroat. Okay, you can be like, wow, thank you for showing me where you're at. This is my standard. I'm now going to put a boundary in place. And, you know, this is how it's going to work going forward. It doesn't have to be this all or nothing mentality, which we've been really, really bred into of recent years. There are huge shifts towards consciousness. People who are not willing or able to shift will be removed from your life. Harsh, but true. Harsh, but true. If you are stubborn and you're not willing and able and open to seeing different perspectives, you are going to have a dark night of the soul. You are going to go through some trauma to make you realize that you have to be able to shift perspectives. God, it sounds like such a fun time we've got coming up, ladies and gents, doesn't it? I don't know about you, but I'm like, oh my gosh, really another one. Remember that thread of love that's coming through, though. Remember, love is the most powerful vibration on the planet. We've got Venus now in alignment, and we can really utilize that. We can rekindle, we can revamp, we can resurrect. That's a really good word. And I've been seeing phoenixes everywhere. So resurrection and rebirth is a really, really good time. Maybe, just maybe, there is something that's going to come through which is just going to help you shift upwards. That doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your boundaries or your standards or who you are. The last piece of the puzzle for this full moon energy is I got a beautiful message about the history. So something that I've been working on for quite some time is around, you know, looking at the history. Even though I don't research, I channel, and then people share certain histories and stuff with me. And the message that I got was, it's time to shine a light on the wrongs of the past. So there will be a lot of information from the past that we've believed with our whole hearts that we are going to find out is incorrect or has been manipulated or inverted. Now, we've already started seeing some of that over the last couple of years, but don't be surprised as to where this is going to go. Now, I'm going to be really, really provocative here, because they've just dropped in and said, keep an eye on religion. So I don't know what that means. I'm not religious. I believe in God, but I'm not religious in, like, you know, I'm not in allegiance with anybody. You know, you guys know I channel and all of those things. There's a lot of religions that don't believe in that. So, you know, I'm not religious at all, but they just said to me, it's going to be shining a light on the wrongs of the past where religion is concerned. So again, please don't shoot the messenger. I am just sharing. Keep your eyes wide open and allow yourself to see, ladies and gents. It's up to you whether you choose to or not. Like anything, there is never, ever going to be anybody that can force you to do anything. Ladies and gents, go grab a pen and a piece of paper, and I will be back in 2 seconds with the exercise for this full moon to help you neutralize and keep yourself safe and well during these energies. See you in a sec. Okay, ladies and gents, welcome back. It's good that I think the energy is going to be extremely exciting for us to process this month, right? So I am going to go against the grain and do something really beautiful and activating within you this ritual. So I hope you've got a piece of pen and paper. My mind just went elsewhere then. So step number 1, as always, Sage Palo Santo, cleanse your space, ladies and gents. And as you do so, please remove anything that is no longer serving me from my auric field. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am ready to shine. I am ready to bring whatever is destined for me towards me. Step number 2, as you clear your space, I'm clearing my space to allow all of the old to leave and be replaced with love, light, and abundance. I welcome in the gold of the future. I recognize how important I am in this mission we are on. Okay, then step number 3. I would like you to grab a piece of paper, and you can set up your space, by the way, if you want to have your cards out, or if you want to have your crystals out, or you want to have some music on, or incense, or candles, or essential oils, diffusing. Like, it's completely up to you what you do, but just what I would be doing is I'm going to sit on the floor on a cushion, and I'm going to lean on a low table, and I'm going to start writing all of the amazing things about myself. We have been in such a powerful period of time whereby we've really had to go deep and look at ourselves, and we've seen the pain. Like I said earlier, my younger self came up earlier this week. We've seen the hurt, we've seen the traumas, we've seen the traumas in other people. We're hearing about death, we're hearing all these different things. So we've been really bamboozled with that energy for a while. So now this month, this full moon, I would like you to activate the gold within you. Let's look at ourselves from a different view. Let's look at ourselves with the love that we deserve to have. Let's look at ourselves with the absolute glory. So look at yourself as if your child is looking at you. And if you don't have children, you know what I mean. Like, look at yourself through the eyes of your partner or your mum or whoever really, really holds you in high regard. Maybe your dog. You know, some people, their dogs are just so loving towards them. So maybe it's their dog or their horse or something like that. I would like you to document everything about you. And I'm not talking superficial. Like, you might think that your eyes are beautiful. Like, I love my eyes. Like, my eyes, people always comment on my eyes. So I really like my eyes. But I'm not going to bring my eyes into it. I'm going to go inwards, and I'm going to talk about the beautiful qualities inside of me. The fact that I am so caring. The fact that I am a bundle of love. You know, I'm not going to go, yeah, but, you know, when I'm hurting and I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to activate all of the gold within me. I'm not going to be delusional when I do this, but I want to activate the gold, because, like I say, what we've been doing so much of is like dredging up the traumas, dredging up where we've come from, dredging up why we feel certain ways. And all of a sudden, like, we start to get shameful or feel guilty and you know, have a real lack of forgiveness for ourselves. So this month, I would really like you to just bamboozle yourself with so much love and so much positivity. Okay? Basically, once you've done a list, I would like you to go into meditation. And when you are in meditation, I would do it for about 15 minutes. I would look at forgiving yourself for everything that you have done through 2022 and any previous years and previous weeks, and just sit with yourself and allow yourself to forgive yourself for anything that you perhaps feel is contradictory to what you've just written on your piece of paper. Okay? This is going to activate the soul. This is going to help us step into a space where we can actually start to believe what is on that piece of paper. There is a lot of people that only see the bad in themselves because other people only see the bad in them. There is a lot of people that can't cope with, you know, seeing that actually they are a bright, shining light. You know, yes, they have flaws, or yes, they have things going on, but people focus on those things. So this is about you activating the gold within yourself. So like I say, do that for about 15 minutes. And then when you come back round, write yourself a note, write yourself a letter of forgiveness. Lucy, dearest Lucy, I forgive you for that situation that happened earlier in the week. I forgive you and your 8-year-old self for allowing that energy and that emotion to come back to the surface. It's an emotion we haven't felt in a long time. So I'm going to forgive you for reminding me that that is still there and that there's still work to be done. Something along those lines, you know, just really pour your heart out, allow your sweet soul to come back online and feel safe to do so. Once you have done that, ladies and gents, I would really recommend that you go and have a shower to get any of the stagnant stuff that you haven't quite forgiven off of you. So just go and wash yourself under the powerful, like envisage the moon literally over your head, showering you, but be in the shower. Okay. And then you can get out, go and have a beautiful chamomile, go and have a cuddle with your partner or whatever it is that makes you happy, a cuddle with your dog. And that is the end of the full moon exercise for this full moon on the 5th of February. Ladies and gents, please do let me know in the comments how this resonates with you. If it, of course, does, please don't feel you have to do the exercise if it doesn't resonate with you. It's just something that I put out each time. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Next week, I've got some really exciting stuff coming for you. So buckle up, babes, and I will see you in the next video. Lots of love.